I'm Brick Road. Welcome back to Let's Play Shiren the Wanderer, and today I have a special guest with me for the first time in my Let's Play career. Go ahead and introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, I'm dtsund from the Talking Time forums. I'm the one who requested this LP.
More like requested it at gunpoint. You kind of foisted it on me.
So yeah, you can blame me if this kind of isn't your thing, I guess.
So, this is the first time I've ever had a guest commentator on one of my LPs who wasn't actually playing the game with me, so this is my official selling out point, I think we'll call it. So here's what happened. I recorded this whole set, and it was hilarious because it's like 2 hours long, and then I went to render it, and for some reason, Camtasia just decided to dump the audio. So I had this like whole silent set. So what a better time than to invite dtsund down, and so he can sit down with me and actually teach me how to play roguelikes.
Well, yeah, this is one of the roguelikes that I'm fairly familiar with. Oh, what weapon is that? Oh, Exorcist Sickle. So, yeah, that's, I don't know if we want to start talking about the nitty-gritty mechanics right away, which is probably one of the things I'm best at talking about, really.
Well, that's what I like to usually talk about when I'm doing my Let's Plays, except games like Shiren where I don't know the nitty-gritty mechanics yet.
Yeah, so, I don't know if you've been using the examination, the info command for your weapons very much, but the most common weapons in this game don't really have any special properties. The Exorcist Sickle happens to give you a pretty significant attack bonus against undead enemies.
I did notice that. I think during the previous session, which hasn't been uploaded to YouTube yet, which is one of the reasons I brought it along with me this time, so I could kill those ghosts in one hit while they were trying to retreat from me. I think that was the idea.
Yeah, I don't know how far you've gotten so far, but there are some really, really nasty ghost enemies later on.
Awesome. I'll look forward to those, because so far I've just seen the ones like on the mountain, or on the, on that little mountaintop area.
You can actually potentially encounter the nasty ones there if, Ghost Musha possesses them.
Wow, yeah, see, that's been one of my biggest, like, drawbacks to the whole LP is when a monster gets leveled up, and I don't notice it, and then I just see it, and it's like, oh, a new monster that I haven't encountered before, but it's really like a extremely powerful monster that kills me in one shot.
Yeah, it's like, you know the mage monsters? The ones that cast spells at you?
Oh, only all too well.
Yeah, if one of those promotes twice, you're kind of in trouble. That's kind of a get off the floor now moment.
That, and you haven't seen the video yet, but I've had a lot of problems with the upgraded kid tanks. It's like, oh my god, it's awful.
Oh yeah, those can be nasty too.
They have a tendency to kill each other, so they'll like kill their best friend, and then they'll level up, and then they'll come after me, and like, man, I didn't do it. That was all you. So,
yeah, there's also a monster type that will deliberately attack other monsters just so it can promote.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to seeing that.
The good news about that one, though, is it doesn't level up very much when it promotes, so you can still deal with it. You might just have to eat a healing herb or something, but it's not something that will immediately kill you on sight.
And that's something that's tricky to know, because it's hard to know how strong the next level of a particular monster is going to be. Like, because sometimes it's just slightly more difficult, and sometimes it's like, oh, this doesn't actually show up for 20 floors, and you need to run.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's kind of an interesting design thing that this game does. In particular with the mage type monsters, it introduces you to those mages. And then later on, you encounter, and the original mages aren't that threatening because they mostly just kind of knock you around a bit. But the upgraded versions, when you see them, you know they can cast spells, but you can have a sort of intuition to guess that they're going to be more powerful spells, and in fact, this is the case. They do really nasty status ailments to you.
And part of playing any roguelike, though, is not just knowing, like, that the monster is going to be more powerful. It's also trying to judge a new monster you've never seen how much more powerful it's going to be.
Some roguelikes are better about this than others. I mean, I've played a few that have a tendency to where, well, I encounter a monster that I've never seen before, and it kills me in one hit. And I haven't gotten any warning like it's an upgraded version of some previous monster.
Yeah, you know what, and I have, even playing NetHack, still today I have that problem. Like, I'll see a dragon, and I'll think, oh, you know, 2 floors ago I killed a baby dragon, and it was no problem. This is just a grown-up dragon. I'll be able to take this. And then it's do you want your possessions freaking identified situation.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, there's a NetHack variant where the dragon identities are randomized.
I've read about that, I think on the wiki or something, but I don't actually play with NetHack variants. It's like vanilla NetHack is hard enough for me, thanks.
Well, so, I know of at least one variant that's actually easier than vanilla.
Oh, is that the one that you were playing during your Let's Play when you did it, where you just drop a bag of stuff on the altar and flashes the entire...
It's mostly just interface stuff, so...
Ease of use stuff, yeah, I can dig that. So, how's this for like a nitty-gritty thing? Because in addition to losing the audio on this set, I also lost like 2 or 3 minutes of video right at the beginning. So the only thing we didn't watch is I had inadvertently put a space after Dion's name, and for some reason I never caught it while I was playing the game. But when I went back to rewatch the videos, it was like driving me insane. So I had to change his name and remove that space.
I never actually noticed that either. Oh, I see you've got the Masseur following you.
Oh yeah, finally. I think I recruited him in the previous set, and I guess it's not a spoiler at this point because all the other people, the boys and girls, have already seen the video. But what happened in the previous set, which you'll watch in the future, is I got deep enough to the dungeon to find that little girl.
Yeah.
And I was dragging her along, and she got blown up by a tank.
I was about to ask if that happened.
And I was like, oh, that's too bad. Well, the thing is, she got blown up by a tank within eyeshot of the stairs leading to the town where you have to take a little girl. And oh, I was like raging and so sad. So the goal for this series, the goal for the set that we're watching right now, was first of all I wanted to get into the mines with a pickaxe. This is the first pickaxe I've ever had. And see if I could find like the treasure room people were talking about.
The treasure is just like a vault in NetHack. It's just you sometimes break through a wall and there's a big square of gold.
I got you. So is it kind of like a random thing? Like it doesn't always exist, like before videos?
It doesn't always exist.
Well, that'll explain. Yeah.
And pickaxes are also annoying because they can just break without warning.
Yeah, I had that problem once. But the other goal for this session was to get the little girl home. So if that happens, we will consider this a success. And if it does not happen, then you can just laugh at me, I guess.
Well, I look forward to finding out.
So I also gave dtsund, I asked him to go ahead and pick a soundtrack for the video, and he sends me 7 songs.
Yeah, I didn't have much time to think about it this week, really.
So that's the other thing I did this morning, is I sat down and was like, okay, well he kind of like put together this forest dungeony motif. So I downloaded like all the good forest songs from every game ever and just threw it in there.
Well, this song right here isn't really a forest song.
No, it is not. But it is from a roguelike.
Yeah, so that gotta count for something.
I haven't actually played any Isaac for a long time. I get so mad playing that game.
I sort of get where you're coming from and getting mad at the game. It is a little luck-driven, although it's by no means the most luck-driven roguelike I've ever played.
Oh, no, it's like 80% of the time or so you can usually make do with what you get in Binding of Isaac, but
yeah.
Just, man, one every 4 or 5 runs, you just get nothing. Just nothing happens.
Yeah, I actually played another run of Isaac earlier this morning.
Oh, did you?
Well, by this morning I mean this afternoon, really.
Yeah, we're creatures of the night, so...
So, yeah, I actually wound up beating Satan in that one.
Have you completed it with all the characters? I think I just need to complete it with, who's left? No, I think I have killed Satan with everybody at this point.
Yeah, I've done it with everybody. I have about 85 mom kills at this point, or something like that. I have every achievement except for complete the depths without taking damage.
Oh, see, I haven't even started. Some of the achievements are just inaccessible to me. Like, complete the depths without taking damage. That's not gonna happen.
I have not done that one. I have done the wound without taking damage. I have done a depths run where I took one hit, and that was just absolutely infuriating because it was just a fly.
Oh no. That's awful. So I think at this point I was in the shop and I was... Because I don't think at this point I had figured out I could sell items in shops yet.
Yeah, there are actually a few items in this game that are meant to be sold.
Yeah,
like, I think it's called the Fancy Shield in the DS version. I don't know what it's called in the SNES version.
Now, have you ever actually played the Famicom version before you suggested it to me?
I have not. I
Okay.
thought the DS version was a lot more similar than it was.
Ah. Well, what are some of the differences?
Okay, one of the big differences in the DS version is that when you get to a town, all of your stuff is identified.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
So, anytime you go to a shop, like, well, there are shops in the dungeon, and the stuff in those shops is not identified, but if you go to a shop, like right here, all the stuff in the shop will be identified.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that'd be
all
nice
of
too.
and all of the staffs and pots that you picked up along the way will also have been identified.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Another difference though is that the loot generation is a lot different. So some items are a lot more common, some items are a lot more rare. I've seen you picking up quite a few crisis scrolls.
That has so far been one of the items that I can usually count on getting at least one or two in a run.
Yeah, and the DS version, if I found one of them in an entire run, I would consider it like a huge moment. Like, I can get out of trouble with this. I almost never find them.
I do need to go pick... I had always been meaning to pick up a copy of the DS version. I had just never gotten around to it.
But yeah, the Crisis Scroll seems to be a lot more common here. The Blank Scroll, that also seems to be a lot more common.
A little less common than Crisis Scrolls, but I try not to waste those by turning them into identify, but sometimes the allure is just too great because I have to know what the staff or whatever does.
I don't know if you've seen the there are two major candidates that I usually consider for Blank Scrolls. One of them is the Crisis Scroll. I don't know if you've seen the other one yet. Genocide.
No, I haven't actually used the Genocide. I don't think I've seen one just generated in the dungeon.
Yeah. Have you seen the phase problem with Genocide in it?
I don't think so, not yet. But the only thing I know about Genocide is you have to use the scroll by throwing it,
Yeah.
rather than reading it. So what happens if you read a Genocide scroll?
Basically the game says, hey, dumbass, you want to throw the scroll instead of reading it.
I guess they do it that way because there's no interface with an SNES controller to type in what monster you want to genocide or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have used the same interface that you use to label scrolls, but that would just be awful.
It would be a little cumbersome, yeah. I am consistently impressed with the depth they're able to get in this game with just the joypad interface.
Mm-hmm.
Considering NetHack uses like every key on the keyboard, plus you need a second keyboard to plug into it to do all the other stuff.
Yeah. NetHack has one of the most complicated control schemes I've seen in a roguelike. There are some other PC ones with a lot simpler.
And in fact, I can't play NetHack. A lot of times I have to do it with, like, keeping the wiki open either on my phone or in another window. Because once in a blue moon, you'll need one of those esoteric little commands. And you're like, what is the command for, like, scratching your nose while doing a hippie dance? I don't know.
I think my favorite one of those is probably wipe, which
What?
is... Yeah,
You actually need to type out the long form command for that because it's not just like Control W or something. You actually have to type out.
I think Alt W works.
Alt W?
Yeah, there's a way to do any one of the extended commands using just like Alt. I don't know all of them though, so I kind of just use the extended command.
I tend to use the extended commands too, but yeah, I don't think I've ever had cause to use the wipe command in a legit play of NetHack. Like, I've done it just to see what it did, but I don't think I've ever actually had to use it.
I think I've needed it once. Oh, I know why I needed it. It's because I was doing a tourist run.
Commands like that, you have to... The idea is, okay, now, will I remember that command exists if I get into that 0.1% situation where I do need it? No, probably not. I'll probably die.
Yeah. But, let's see, the wipe command, for those of you who don't know, wipe